And here to update us on the world of insurance is Pete Clark with Farm Bureau Insurance. Welcome, Pete.
Thank you, Jenny. Glad to be here.
So, one of the hottest topics in real estate right now is definitely flood insurance. I mean, every week it's in the headlines, and so today you're going to go into a little more detail with us about the flood insurance reform. Can you tell us why there was a need for flood insurance reform in the first place?
Well, the Congress passed the Biggert Waters Flood Insurance Reform Act of 2012 to change the way the NFIP operated, the National Flood Insurance Program. One of the major provisions of the law was to create a rate change to do away some of the subsidies that FEMA applies to flood policies. So rate changes and rate increases was the biggest part of it. Another was to help FEMA become more financially stable, and then also to help with the impact that these flood map updates have for policyholders.
Now, how has the Biggert Waters Flood Insurance Reform Act affected the insurance market?
Well, the effect that it has on the insurance market is that all flood insurance is federally mandated on federally backed mortgages. So lenders are going to be required to have that as a requirement to homeowners who mortgage their homes. That's the biggest part of the act, is that flood insurance is a federally backed product, and because most home mortgages are federally backed, there is that requirement. We've had recently a huge influx of calls from consumers concerned about what will happen to their flood insurance policies. This has also caused quite a stir with the real estate market as well. One of the things to remember is that not everybody is affected by these changes. About 81% of policyholders will be unaffected or slightly affected by the changes to the National Flood Insurance Program. Those that will be mostly affected will be homes built prior to September 30th, 1977, which is considered pre-firm. These homes will be rated upon new ownership at the full rate of the risk for the flood insurance.
And now, who do you think would be the least affected by this?
The least affected would be the 81% of people who already have actuarially rated flood insurance policies, meaning when these individuals purchased their homes, they had an elevation certificate that they used to rate the flood insurance policy. And just a basic on that is flood insurance in part is based on the first floor elevation of a home relative to the base flood elevation for the area in which that home is located. So that's how rates are determined. Using that. Pre-firm homes built prior to September 30th, 1977, don't have that because the firm maps were not printed at the time. So those are what you call pre-firm, and they are subsidized rates, and they're trying to do away with the subsidy.
So, I mean, probably the most important message today is that every person that lives in the low country doesn't need to go into complete panic about their flood insurance rates. It's going to be a very particular group of people that are going to need to pay attention to this. Is that a fair thing to say?
That is definitely a fair thing to say. Although we have seen a lot of calls, again, 81% of the individuals are either unaffected or slightly affected.
So for people that want more information about this or have questions about their own specific, home and situation, where can they reach you to call, Pete?
They can call Farm Bureau Insurance of Beaufort and talk to me or any of the other agents in the office. We're all qualified and have the information necessary to give them the information that they're looking for so they can make a better judgment on how to handle their flood insurance.
Well, Pete, thank you so much for shedding some light on this controversial topic, and a lot of people have been looking for information, so we appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much.